Okay, so in book four, Hiccup and his tribe, they're doing lessons in the snow. So they're practicing sledding, they're practicing skiing. Hiccup and Fishlegs encounter some hunters who have slaughtered some deer during their hunt. And this upsets Fishlegs, who hasn't been acting like himself lately. So he charges these hunters. These hunters are really from the Hysteric tribe, and we're introduced to the antagonist of our story, Norbert the Nutjob. But Hiccup's tribe, the hooligans, aren't really supposed to be here, so Hiccup and Fishlegs are fleeing, and the hysterics are giving chase. As Hiccup flees, he manages to fend off Norbert and shoots him in the derriere. Norbert swears revenge on Hiccup. It's wintertime in the area, so the oceans have frozen over, and they're being pulled by sleds by these dragons called the saber-toothed driver dragon. Under the ice, they can also see a giant dragon around Hysteria Island. This dragon is called the Doomfang, and it's now dormant, sleeping for hibernation. But when it's active, the Doomfang presents a problem for the Hysteric tribe. Back on Burke, they're having these Friday games where they're playing hockey. They call it slapstick. Fishlegs has another tantrum, so he talks back to Stoic and he talks back to Gobber. So Hiccup takes Fishlegs to see his maternal grandfather, Wrinkly, and Wrinkly is a type of seer, so he divines that Fishlegs has been stung by a type of dragon, the venomous Vorpint. The Vorpint sting is lethal, so Fishlegs is dying. And so now Hiccup has to go with Kamikaze to find Fishlegs a cure. I like Hiccup's nobility and sacrifice for his friends. He's very consistent in that regard. I can't say the same for Toothless. Usually he's kind of tame, but he's also pretty annoying at times. I kind of gloss over it, but now it's really annoying. We get some character development for Stoic because he finally sees Snotlout for the opportunist and the spiteful person he is. I like the new saber-toothed driver dragon, whose name is One Eye. I think he has a sense of nobility. One Eye hates humans, so it's interesting to see him make a sacrifice for the common good of both humans and dragons. Norbert the Nutjob's just sort of an okay antagonist. He has these fits of anger where he rants, but you know what? He's actually a pretty reasonable character. For a Nutjob, he sure is patient and understanding, a lot more than he should be. The story is kind of a farce, and I don't really like the hysteric hall sequence at the end. The Doomfang sequence is kind of unsatisfying. I think Kamikaze shines in this story, but she's sort of a whimsical character, and she really needs more development. I know most of the dragons are hibernating at this time, but what is Kamikaze's dragon? The theme of the story seems to prominently be about nobility and sacrifice, having higher aims and objectives. At the risk of sounding premature, I think that now that the story has established its conventions, it's time for a good old shakeup.